Hello, and welcome back to another video. If you're looking on recommendations for what manhwa to read, then here are some, specifically Murim, that I've read recently that might be of interest. Manhwa titles are timestamped in the video for your convenience. Our first manhwa for today is Murim Login, a modern manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 185 on. Its main character is Jin Tae-kyung, a struggling F-ranker in a world filled with monsters and hunters who's been dealt quite a serious hand in his life. To try and take his mind off of things, he ends up with a VR gaming capsule that allows him to play a game known as Murim Login. To his surprise, while he's able to log in, he's not able to log out. Inside of Murim Login, he's possessed the body of someone within the Jin family who actually has the same name as him, Taekyung. Now Taekyung needs to survive in this new world while following the game quests that suit his needs. Will he be able to make it out alive? And does he gain anything other than surviving? The story is 9 out of 10. Murim Login's story is about Taekyung's growth to becoming a stronger person, but also one that understands the meaning of hard work and relationships with those around you. It showcases the struggles and meaningful pushes that Taekyung overcomes to achieve his goals. The initial one, of course, being to survive his current predicament. Oh, I forgot to say that the Taekyung that he possessed in this Murim world has a reputation of being quite the good-for-nothing person. Put some context into what he's up against. The characters are 7 out of 10. Due to the time he spent in Murim Login, his most forged relationships are in the Murim world instead of being in the modern one. With some of the cases put forward, Taekyung having to come to grips with this if he successfully finishes his goal to escape the game is daunting. The art is 8 out of 10. With its great comedic scenes and martial combat, Murim Login offers a good pace between both genres that doesn't overstay its welcome before switching over to the other side. So if you're looking for a modern manhwa, but in actuality a more Murim manhwa that has the main character struggle to grow stronger in a meaningful fashion, then Murim Login would warrant a try at the very least. This next manhwa is Absolute Master of the Senate, a regression manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 85 on. Its protagonist is Yan Soo-yun, a powerful figure who is part of the demon sect who led one of its multiple factions. This is until one day he is betrayed by one of his senior disciples and ultimately perishes after killing the betrayer. Through some miracle though, after his death, he regresses back into the past where he was just sold by his poverty-stricken parents to survive, but before he was taken to the demon sect. Given this new chance at life, Soo-yun looks to prevent himself from getting involved with the demon sect, but where does he go from here? Clearly the orthodox ones. Will he succeed? And what are his goals after? The story is 7 out of 10. The deviation of switching to the orthodox side, the side he knew as enemies after living his whole life as part of the demon sect, is intriguing. Clearly with how he lived his life previously, Soo-yun has a lot of information and experience under him, but he has to survive first this immediate threat. The characters are 7 out of 10 as well. From martial masters, new and old companions, and the same for old and new enemies, there's quite a number of people that interact with Soo-yun in a multitude of ways that keeps both him and the readers on their toes. With it being a Murim world though, the relationships can be quite stereotypical. The art is 9 out of 10. With its great showcase of the powers available to all characters within the manhwa, and in addition Soo-yun's own martial mastery over his powers, this manhwa is a treat for any action junkies looking for a martial arts based story or a Murim one. So if you're looking for a regression manhwa set in a Murim world with a main character who switches sides in his second life due to personal reasons, or if any of this sounded interesting to you, then take a look at Absolute Master of the Senate. Our next manhwa is World's Greatest Senior Disciple, a Murim manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 66 on. Hyuk-moo-sang is the name of its main character, and he is the oldest disciple of a small countryside Murim martial academy that was sent to fight a great war with the enemy of the orthodox faction. It showed to us fairly quickly though that he suffered greatly at the hands of one of the heads of the demonic faction and stumbled upon a great fortune. After some time, he returns to his countryside martial academy to return to his old life. Things don't go as smoothly though, as trouble has befallen his home, while the troubles and past with the war catches up to him and come to find him instead. The story is 7 out of 10. Throughout his experience in the Murim world, Musang gains quite an appreciation for his old life in a small academy. Those troubles from his time in the war catch up to him in unexpected ways, and while he has no say in it, he gets slowly caught up in it as well. Musang clearly wants to live a peaceful life, but will he achieve it? The characters are 8 out of 10. From amusing friends, enemies of differing levels and backings, to romantic interests that Musang is privy to, there are enough relationships and differing ideologies on both sides that Musang probably won't have an easy day even if it is peaceful. The art is 7 out of 10. A more overpowered version of a Murim story, the great fortune that Musang encounters allows him to wield power in such a way that he can protect what is truly dear to him, but it does leave some things to be desired in its action scenes though. World's Greatest Senior Disciple is a Murim manhwa for those that are looking for an overpowered but cautious main character who wants nothing more than a peaceful countryside lifestyle in his home at the martial academy, but things don't go his way. So give it a read if any of this seems interesting to you. This next manhwa is the Dang Clan's Swordmaster Heir Just Wants a Normal Life, a Murim manhwa that I've currently read up to chapter 27 on. The protagonist of this story is Yeonmyeong, a member of the Dang family. His situation though is quite pitiful as his mom and dad were seen as the reasons for the Dang family's current decline in power and strength. If that wasn't enough, his father died and his mom was somewhat complacent of the Dang family's treatment of them due to the previous events transpiring. One day though, Yeonmyeong recovers memories of his previous life where he was a swordsman at the pinnacle of its path, and this is where he's able to start his journey. Yeonmyeong's will is to live a normal life, but clearly life will not let him do so, and so he must reach higher. The potential is 8 out of 10. With its good pacing for its introductory arc and enough space for future possibilities, this manhwa has enough of a solid foundation with the Dang family and Yeonmyeong that it's certainly piqued my interest on what it will try to introduce on its next arc. While not spoiling the direct events in the 27 chapters I've read, Yeonmyeong's new approach clearly works internally within the family. The art is 6 out of 10. While it does provide a Murim feeling, the reputation of the Dang family, even in other manhwas, are for poison, medicine, and maybe even sometimes hidden weapons. This and its general art style feel a little rough around the edges for what seems to be more of a action potential style with clan-to-clan disputes. So if you're looking to follow along a somewhat new Murim story that has just finished setting its foundation before delving into what trouble awaits its main character, then get started reading the Dang Clan's Swordmaster Heir Just Wants a Normal Life. Welcome to the highlight portion of today's video as we look at how one of the manhwas mentioned in the previous video is doing as I've continued reading it. Slight spoiler warning as we will be discussing the events in the manhwa since my previous opinion. Today's highlight is Return of the Blossoming Blade, which I've now read up to chapter 135 on. Info card in the description will have links to my original opinion. Cheongmyeong, our main character, and his companions have been busy trying to make their way through the Dang clan's territory. This turned out to be an interesting plot point as Jogul, one of the core four as I will call them, of Cheongmyeong's new crew, turns out to be from this area of Sichuan, the son of a merchant to be specific. This turns into a power session between the powers of the Dang clan and those of the Manhwa sect. At first, things seem to be quite interesting as instead of Cheongmyeong making the stage, it's Jogul who steps up initially to protect and stand up for his family and the sect he represents. Escalation ensues and Cheongmyeong finds himself having to prove his worth to the current patriarch of the Dang clan. Will Cheongmyeong succeed? What's the result of this clash, and will the core 4 be always surprised by his antics once again? My previous scores for Return of the Blossoming Blade were 8 out of 10 for story, 7 out of 10 for characters, and 10 out of 10 for action. The action stays the same, if only it could go higher, as the action scenes continue to be great while the new characters of the Dang family showcase their mastery of poison, hidden weapons, and cunning tactics beautifully. Cheongmyeong and the patriarch of the Dang family are a showcase of why I love this manhwa so much as an action series. The characters move up 1 point to 8 out of 10 as my only critique for it previously was that it was slow on its character building for the side characters, and it's finally taking some time to do so, in this case, Jogul. The story though only goes up 0.5 to 8.5 as there are clearly more repercussions for the Manhwa sect after the encounters that the core 4 and Cheongmyeong have been through. Will it be of benefit or detriment though? Return of the Blossoming Blade is one of the best Murim manhwas that I've had the chance of reading. From its main character Chungmyeon to his attitude and relationship with his own sect to the sect members and their own stories and personalities. This manhwa is a great place to start reading if you're interested in starting a Murim manhwa or a fan of them in general. Would you agree or would you not? Write down in the comment section down below your thoughts on Return of the Blossoming Blade. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Write in the comment section down below what manhwa and manga you've been reading and I might just take a look. Till next time though, have a good read.